You are live on YouTube, apparently. Wow, that was fast.
Hello, I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook with my ever so handsome hunk of burning love,
And
Michael.
You
That would
should
be
be
me.
live on Facebook, too.
I hope it's you. We're in trouble if it's not.
Hey, Facebook.
Facebook, hello. All right. Today we are showing you how to save money on groceries freezing. This trick
Holy moly.
saves $5,000 for me in 1 year. 1 year. 1 year. $5,000.
Woo!
That's a lot of money on food
It is.
for a year. For a year. All right, so I wanted to show you guys real quick in our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have, and I forgot to look at the page number. Oh, look at all those cute kids, Dad. They were just so sweet, weren't they? We have a recipes that freeze well guide and a freezer guide right here. Page 48 and 49 in the new hardcover color pictures. I guess I should pick another picture. I always pick the one at the front. Here, salads. Oh, that looks lovely.
It does look lovely.
Is that lovely?
Because that's different than the how long will food keep in the freezer, right?
Yeah, well, that one will work too. Yeah, no, that's the same one. Yeah.
Oh.
You just had to
It's
SEO
just-
it.
But it's not that part.
No. So, in Dining on a Dime cookbook, we have a list here of how long food will last in the freezer, and which recipes in Dining on a Dime freeze well. And you can go to livingonadime.com, pick that up. The best cookbook ever. I got to thinking, I think we are the top selling frugal cookbook there is.
All right.
I think so. I need to go look at one other cookbook, but I think we've sold more cookbooks than any other frugal cookbook. So that's pretty cool. All right. So here, I'll just stand this up right here. There, isn't that nice? Oh, there.
Oh,
Can you see that?
Debbie says, love your cookbook. Thank you, Debbie.
Aw, thanks, Debbie. Okay. If you guys love our videos, please give us a thumbs up and share. One of my viewers on Wednesday's show said, can I tell you a tip? Yeah, you need to tell people to give you a thumbs up and a share. Ooh, Debbie's first live. Wow.
All right. Welcome,
So,
Debbie.
I keep forgetting to do that. So please give us a thumbs up and a share, guys. We really appreciate it.
Aw,
It helps
look at all
our
that love.
channel. All right. All you need is love, 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 love. All you need is love. Is that our problem? We just don't have enough love?
I guess.
Sorry, that could go really wrong. Sorry. All right, guys. So, how do I save $5,000 in 1 year? Now, I will tell you, just right up front, the very end, my total was $4,965. But I didn't feel like going in and recalculating any of my prices just to get up to $5,000, so I rounded up. Now, I did round up or rounded down on all of these numbers. So, all you numbers police out there, just make a mental note. And I got about, did we get 3 hours of sleep last night, I think? I think we got maybe 4 hours worth of sleep
Well, I didn't even get an hour.
last night. So, my head has been ready to pop out of my head. So, or my brain, I have a headache. That's what I'm trying to say. So, if I say something wrong, please just forgive me and move on. We have the graphics and hopefully they're correct. All right, here we go.
Hopefully they're correct. That's hilarious.
Yes, because Mike was just finishing them like 10 minutes ago. All right, here's the thing. A big question we always get. Does it save money on groceries freezing your food? Does it save money on groceries buying a freezer? Well, is a freezer really cost effective? Well, that's an awful lot of money you spend on electricity and buying the freezer. Is that really worth it? So I'm going to give you actual real numbers that my family uses in Colorado, which has some of the highest grocery prices in the country. I know there's other places that have them higher. I'm just saying we are not the Midwest like we used to be, and these prices are higher. All right, Dave, graphic number 1. So the main way I save on groceries is by buying as much as I can on sale and stocking up, which means it is worth it for me to buy a big freezer. Now, here are the meat prices that I pay. Meat for retail, did you do graphic number 1, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, meat, I'm going to give you the retail price and then the sell price. Chicken is, for boneless, skinless, is about $4 a pound here in Colorado, retail price. I can get it for $2 a pound. Turkey is regularly $1.50 a pound. I can get it for 39 cents a pound at Thanksgiving. Ground beef is normally $4 a pound. I pay $2 a pound. Roast is $6 a pound, and I just get whatever roast is on sale for $3 a pound, usually $2.99, but I round it up, as I said. Okay, so those are the normal prices that I pay. Now, graphic number 2. We eat per year. Now, this will fluctuate. This isn't set in stone, but this is a general idea of what we eat in a year. We will eat 3 pounds of chicken per week, which is 156 pounds per year, and that includes leftovers for lunches. And Mike will eat dinner for lunch, or I will eat dinner for lunch, probably 4 to 5 times a week. It just kind of depends on the week. Turkey, we eat about 90 pounds per year. I only buy them at Thanksgiving, and then when they're gone, I just wait and stock up on the next Thanksgiving. Ground beef, we eat about 1 pound per week, about 50 pounds per year. And beef roasts, we eat about 3 pounds per week, or 150 pounds per year. Now, occasionally, you can take off the graphic, Dave. Occasionally, we will eat pork in the form of pork chops, pork roast, or a ham. I did not put those on this list because Mike doesn't really like pork except bacon. And so I only get it occasionally. Okay? So then, of course, that would be adjusted a little bit. You know, we wouldn't eat as much chicken or whatever. We eat a lot of chicken because that's what everybody likes around here. Okay? Number 3. Oh, now, yeah, okay. Number 3, Dave.
Okay.
Retail cost per year. So, if I paid retail for the meat that I have, okay, I'm going to give you those numbers. Now, once again, give me a thumbs up and a share, guys, if you're loving our videos, and I'm going to take your questions as soon as I'm done explaining the whole thing, because a lot of your questions will be answered as I explain it, okay? Retail cost for a year. If I paid retail for my chicken, it would cost me $1,092. If I paid retail for my turkey, it would be $135. If I paid retail for my ground beef, it would be $200. If I paid retail for my roast, that would be $900 for a total of $3,227. Okay? Now, number 4, Dave.
Okay.
If I purchase those same exact items and I only purchase them on sale, which is what I do, my sale cost for 1 year for chicken would be $312. Now I can actually get that price down to $250 by getting chicken for an even better deal, but I did the $199 that is my price that I will pay, but I can occasionally get it between $1.49 and $1.79, so I can save more than that $312. Turkey, $35. And those 9 turkeys that I get, 6 turkeys. Those 6 turkeys that I get, that each turkey will feed us between 10 and 20 meals. Okay, it just kind of depends on how big the turkey is. Ground beef, for the sale cost for a year is $100, but that's at $2 a pound. This year, I was able to find a great deal after Memorial Day, and I was able to pay $1 a pound, so it actually cost me $50 this year in 2019. Roast, a beef roast. My sale cost is $450. The difference is $897. So that's how much, or I mean, that's the total. $879 is what I spent on meat in 2019. All right, number 5, Dave.
All right.
So how does this translate into savings? For chicken, I saved $780 in 1 year. For turkey, I saved $100, ground beef $100, beef roast $450, for a total savings of $1,430. So that's a huge, huge savings. You can come back to me, Dave. So you can see right there that just on those 4 items, chicken, turkey, ground beef, and roast, I save almost $1,500 in a year. I actually probably do save $1,500 because I did the high sale prices. I didn't do the low sale prices, which is what I normally get. All right, so number 6. Okay, here we go. What are other things that I freeze? Other things that I consider big savings that I buy in bulk when they're on sale and
Graphic 6 is on. So.
and freeze would be butter. Butter is normally $3 a pound. When I find it for $1.50 a pound, I'll get $50, usually Thanksgiving and Easter, sometimes Christmas. I'll get 50 pounds and I will save $75. And that whole 50 pounds will last me a year. Strawberries. And for the butter, I just throw the butter in the door of my freezer and just line it all along the door. And then when I need butter, I just go grab one out of the freezer. Strawberries. $2 a pound is what the regular price is. When I find it for $1 a pound, I will get 50 pounds and freeze the strawberries and save $50. Now, that one does take a little bit more work to cut up and clean the strawberries, but I like the taste of fresh strawberries frozen a whole lot more than frozen strawberries that are frozen. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. So that's why I do that little bit of work. The same is true with blueberries. $2.50 a pound is what they normally are here. When I find them for $1, usually the end of July, I will get 40 pounds and I will save $60. Those are super simple. You just rinse them, pat them dry, throw them in a bag. Okay, so the savings for that is $185. So the total saved is $1,615 for the year, just in those items. Now, here's where the savings really comes into play. Eating out is one of the top things. Let's see, how do I say this? Eating out is one of the easiest ways you can save money to pay off your debt. And most people don't do it because they don't have time. Here's the thing. When I have my freezer full of foods, I don't have to go out to eat because I already have it right there and I don't have to go to the grocery store and figure out what I'm going to eat. Dining on a Dime Cookbook right here. What I do is I shop from my pantry and my freezer, find what recipes I have ingredients for, and that's what we have for dinner. I don't do a month's worth of menus and then go shopping. I refill my freezer and refill my pantry, and if it's not on sale and I don't have it in my freezer or pantry, we don't buy it. With the exception of show food that I need for the show, okay? Let me just make that clear. Normally, okay, I won't go to the grocery store just to get one thing. Even milk. I mean, last week we didn't have milk for a week. We lived to tell about it. It was fine. I made biscuits for breakfast, or, you know, toast or whatever, pancakes for breakfast. All right, now, here's the thing. Most people nowadays are spending no less than $300 a month. And I'll be perfectly frank and say I think I'm being very conservative in that number, which equals $3,600 a year. $3,600 a year. So by the time you take the savings of buying stuff on sale, did I do something wrong?
No, I'm just wondering which part is the 3600.
Oh, I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay.
By the time you take the savings from your freezer and you combine that without eating out, you're saving almost $5,000 a year. Now here's the big question. Number 8, Dave. Does it really pay to own a freezer? Well, here's the thing. I personally think it does. And here's the actual numbers for our family. Now, we have a bigger family, but I would say if you have 2 kids, at least, it's worth it. Maybe 1 kid, it's not. You could just use your regular freezer, but for 2 kids, it's definitely worth it. All right, the cost to run the freezer, it's $600 to buy a freezer that will last 8 years, and that's $75 a year. The power to run the freezer is $175 a year, or $14 a month, give or take, okay? Let's see. So, it in total costs $250 a year to run your freezer, which is $20 a month, to save $1,365 in food and to save $3,600 in eating out, for a total of $4,965, almost $5,000. So you can see right there, all you have to do is save $20 and your freezer is paid for every month. And most people, you can take it off, Dave. Most people can easily do that. It is a lot of controversy on whether it's worth the electricity or whatever, but nowadays freezers really are energy efficient, and for $20 a month, I get way more savings than that. All right, so next, what is in my freezer? Now, all right, now, okay, so yeah, so my friend Jamie just texted me and said this is for a family of 5, not per person. Yes, this is for a family of 5, not per person. All right, now, my little disclaimer, I did not clean my freezer before I did this.
Like, are you sure you want to show these pictures?
My cat cow. And I will tell you, Wednesday, because we have Dave's dental appointment and my dental appointment tomorrow, but Wednesday, I'm going to be cleaning the freezer and getting it reorganized. So I'll show you pictures. So come back on Wednesday and I'll show you pictures on Wednesday what it looks like. But here's the thing. What happens is the kids will go in and they'll pull one thing out or pull another thing out, or they'll buy something and they'll shove their stuff in there. Mike will buy something, he'll shove his stuff in there. Normally, I have 2 shelves for meat, 1 for fruits and vegetables, and then 1 for miscellaneous like breads, rolls, that kind of thing. And then the door is usually butter or packages of vegetables. Okay, that's normally how I do it, and I'll show you that on Wednesday. All right, here we go. Number 9. So here is, are you ready, Dave? Here is the full freezer shot, number 9.
Yeah.
Just kind of a big overview of my freezer. You think anybody died from the shock yet?
I did.
Okay. Dave did.
Did y'all renumber them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Number 10, Dave. Here we go. I'm going to walk through and show you what everything is in my freezer. Now, start giving Mike your questions. I'm going to answer your questions here as soon as we're done. But I wanted to walk through the whole thing because I might answer some. All right, number 10. All right, Dave got that up. Yep, there it is. Now, you can see on the top shelf here, on the right is my lamb, which I paid $2 a pound, and normally it's $8 a pound. That's for me. Nobody else eats lamb. You can see a pizza.
The kids have been helping organize.
Yes.
And the fries, the waffle
The
fries.
pizza and the waffle fries are the kids'. Those are when mom is not feeling good and she can't even use her brain to think of what to cook. That's what we're eating, okay? Guys, I'm telling you, buy 3 or 4 $3 pizzas and keep them in your fridge. I'd rather have you spend $3 and take a pizza out of your fridge and cut up an apple or an orange and give it to them for dinner instead of spending 40 or 50 bucks ordering a pizza or going through the drive-thru. It's ridiculous, okay? Next, those 2 tub things are lunch meat. I got for $1.50. I usually have a sandwich for lunch every day, and so I found those on clearance. $1.50 instead of $4, so I threw them in the freezer.
Well, and you have to have a special kind, right?
Yeah, and I have to have a special, I can't do nitrates, they give me headaches. Okay, then underneath the lunch, on top of the pizza is my frozen homemade peach jam that I made. And I think I got those peaches free, I can't remember. Or was that from the show? Anyway, I can't remember, that's my peach jam. Then under the lunch meat in the middle is the 25-cent dinner rolls that I got around Thanksgiving. We're almost out of those. I got like 8 or 10 packages for $1. That's a great deal. Then on the, let's see, would that be the left, I guess, is 2 roasts and then the boys' waffle fries. Okay, Dave, next one, 11. All right, now on the next shelf, we've got a turkey that I paid 30 cents a pound for, a ham that I got 89 cents a pound for, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that ham up and use it for easy, like, country skillet breakfast, that kind of thing. Mike likes it like that. So I cut it up and use like a country skillet. That recipe's coming up in our Dining on a Dime Volume 2.
What?
We didn't announce the new name, did we yet? Ooh, you guys heard it here first. Then under the ham is Mom's gingerbread dough. We still have gingerbread men left from Christmas that we hadn't made, so I'm going to make those up for the guys. She makes gingerbread men every Christmas. My grandfather, as you guys know, didn't have very long, so she had to rush back here, and she brought all her gingerbread dough. Then next to the gingerbread dough is Girl Scout cookies that we got for free from a family member that didn't like them, and so we have those. Now, at the back of that you guys can't see are frozen vegetables stacked up, and it looks like, is that another pizza? No. Oh, it's your lean pockets. Confession time. No, not really confession. So Mike
It's my
likes...
emergency if I'm trying to eat right and I can't get to food.
Yes. So here's the thing. If we run out of leftovers the night before, Mike likes to fix himself a lean pocket or a hot pocket, and those are a quick and easy lunch that he can do. Okay, number 12, Dave. The next one, we have yet another turkey. Okay, so I think I got 8 turkeys this Thanksgiving. I happen to love turkey, so I will eat it for every meal. I love turkey, so I mostly got it for me. But in this video, or in this picture, we have another roast on top of the 2 turkeys, another roast on the bottom of the turkey, and then next to that is some gluten-free flour that I had frozen because I didn't know I was doing the gluten-free cookbook, and I guess I need to get in there and get that out and use it. Okay. Then next to that is in the Ziploc bag is more gluten-free flours. once again, guys, post your questions for Mike and I will get to them. I'm almost done here. Then Ellie got some hamburger buns for herself and some, I don't know, what is that Japanese ice cream stuff in the pink bag called? Mochi or Muchi or...
Oh, is that Ellie's?
Mala? I don't know.
It's probably something like mochi.
Mochi?
I'm guessing.
I don't know.
Ellie must have bought that.
Ellie gets some strange things, and so she put that in there. And then there is cheese under the hamburger buns that I got on sale. And if I get cheese for $2 a pound or less, then I will stock up and freeze it. Okay? Number 14, Dave. 13, Dave.
Did you say there's jam in those?
Huh?
Did you say there's jam in those?
In what?
In the Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's jam in the Ziploc bags. I lay it flat. Yeah. Okay, number 13. Okay, on the bottom, on the left, is my goat milk for my soap making that I got from a friend who has goats, and that's the last of my goat milk right there that I'm planning on using up here pretty quick. And then I have another turkey, and then I have another roast, and 2 roasts, and I have more lunch meat. So that's what's on the bottom shelf. Then in the door, David, number 14, we have veggies in the bags. When they're on for $1, I will get the pre-sliced onions and peppers for fajitas and roasts and that kind of thing. And I put those in the door. And then I have more gluten-free baking stuff on the top there for testing recipes. I have a big bag of broccoli that we got. Now, I normally don't buy vegetables in those honkin' big bags like that. They're just a pain to use, and that's one reason why I don't like going to Costco, because you have to drag the whole thing out. You have to dump it, whatever you need, and then it's just a huge mess. When the little bags are up type, the ones that are on the top shelf, those are 4 servings of vegetables. So I will cook 2 bags of those for every dinner. Or, no, not every dinner. I'll cook 1 bag of those and a fruit, or I'll do 2 bags of vegetables for dinner. And they're just so much easier to handle and deal with. All right, so then, no, not yet. Then you can see the last of the butter that I got last Easter is almost gone. I think I've only got 2 left. Good thing Easter's coming up here because I need to restock my butter. And then there is the orange juice. You can show the last one, Dave. And some more of Mike's Lean Pockets. That's the orange juice we just got on clearance for $1. And on the bottom is some broth, which I'm gonna throw away because I can't eat bone broth anymore, or I never could in the first place, but I just finally figured out the problem. Anyway, so the bone broth is gonna go away. Yeah, so that is what's in my freezer at the moment, in the big freezer. I didn't take pictures of the little freezer. I guess I could have, but I didn't. And what I do, you can take it off, Dave. What I do is I usually will take and put things that I use frequently in the small freezer. So like when I do a whole bunch of hamburger and I have the little packets of it, I'll put several of those in the small freezer, and then I just pull it out and put it in there. Or like today's dinner is roast from Monday's show, which was frozen. So I just took the whole packet, just set it in the pan and put it in the oven, and it's been slow cooking for a few hours. And that's easy, quick dinners. Now, here's the thing. What happens if you leave your freezer open and you lose all your food? This happens. But here's the thing. You've got to put it in perspective. So let's say you lost that entire freezer, which is probably $200 worth of food for me. Let's say I lost that entire freezer full of food. That still is only $200 that is lost when I have saved $5,000. So you have to keep it in perspective. Yeah, you don't want to lose that food, but at the same time, you're still saving money by having the freezer. Now, the next thing though is if the door gets left open or you lose power or whatever. First of all, if you lose power or whatever, do not open the door. Your food will stay good in there for about 3 days if you do not open the door, especially if it's full, because all those frozen foods create their own ice blocks, okay? So your power may come back on within that 3 days. But let's say the power goes out and it's 5 days. And so then your food, your meat and stuff is going to start going bad. First of all, your food does not go bad immediately. You've got 2 to 3 days before your food actually starts to get warm enough to spoil.
As long as it stays closed.
As long as it stays closed, because all those foods are keeping each other insulated, okay? Secondly, though, don't throw away things like the vegetables and the orange juice and the cookies, those kinds of things. The meat you will need to throw away, but the other foods are perfectly fine. Just refreeze them. Now, some of them might get freezer burn from defrosting and refreezing, but it's worth it to try and see if they're savable. The other thing is, if you have a grill or whatever and you don't have power, quickly open the door, get what meat you can out and cook it for you to be eating the next little bit. Now, let's say you live in a cold climate and the freezer door gets left open, or you have a storm or whatever. Use the outside as your cooler. It's okay to put your stuff in coolers and that kind of thing and set it outside. As long as it's below 40 degrees, you'll be good, okay?
Just try to keep it away from where animals might get to it.
Now, if it's the middle of July, that's not going to work, of course. But just use your brain and realize all is not lost if your freezer is left open or your power goes out, okay? So, does it pay to have a freezer? Can you save money on groceries freezing? Yes, you can save big time, and we save big time every year, $5,000. So to put that in perspective, guys, if you're a working mom and you do that for 4 years and you make $20,000, you could take off a year of work. If you make $40,000 a year, you could take off 6 months worth of work. And it's no harder to do. I think it's simpler to do this system than it is to meal plan and go buy food or go out to eat. Even making freezer meals, I think, is absolutely insane. I was watching another freezer meal video. Why do I torture myself with this? I don't know. But I was watching another freezer meal because I keep thinking, okay, is there something I'm missing? They were pouring already frozen chicken breasts. So they put those in a Ziploc bag, and they had 3 Ziploc bags. They put frozen chicken breasts, and then they poured a jar of salsa and a thing of taco seasoning in a bag. Why are you wasting your time and energy doing that? That's 3 ingredients. Just put the chicken and the salsa and the seasoning in your crock pot or in your pan for your oven or your Instant Pot. It's absolutely crazy. There was another one that was meatballs. So they put already made meatballs. They didn't even make the meatballs homemade. So they put already pre-made meatballs with a can of pineapple, vinegar, and brown sugar. And they were pouring this all in this bag. Why? That is such a huge waste of time. Now, I am going to go in Wednesday, cook up 2 turkeys and put them in little packets already cooked in little packets. Then I already have to warm it up. But that's a big turkey that you can't usually eat all of at once. So that's a little bit different. But I don't go and do, that's why you didn't see any pre-made freezer meals in my freezer, because I don't think that's an efficient way to cook. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Anyway, all right.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Here they come. Give us a thumbs up and share if you guys are loving this video, please.
There are a lot of good questions, most of them short, but I was going to say something, I was going to repeat something that Tara said, because I noticed there are a few people that I think must not have been here through the whole thing. But some people were talking about if your meat is really expensive this week. The whole reason why Tara's talking about this topic is we never, ever, ever buy the meat when it's $8 a pound. Or when it's
Dave?
$4.99 a pound. Most meat's not when it's $4.99
Yeah.
a pound.
I pay $2.99 or less a pound.
And the rate, so if you're in your situation are saying, man, the meat where I am is $8 a pound or $4.99 a pound or whatever. The reason why that we do the freezer thing is because Tara will just keep an eye out.
When
and
it's on sale.
When it's on sale for a crazy low price, which happens periodically pretty much everywhere.
Every week something is on sale.
Then we will buy a lot of it and store it in the freezer. And then when it's not on, when it's $8 a pound, we'll just go out to Tara's grocery out in the freezer, and we'll get the $1.99 or $2.99 meat that we got when it was actually on sale.
Yeah. So I stock up when it's on sale.
So if you're in the issue where you're saying, hey man, it's really expensive where I am, you need to get on this process, and then you won't have to worry about that anymore. We never ever pay those prices.
I never pay retail. I pay retail for about 5 to 10% of my food. Everything else is I buy on sale and I stock up. So like today, I'm sitting here looking at my local Kroger store right here. Cheerios, $1.79 on sale. And then when you buy that cereal, it pops out a coupon for 25 cents. If you buy 5, you get 25 cents off a box. So I would go stock up on cereal if I needed. I just did that in November, so I don't need it. So I'm not going to stock up on cereal, even though it's on sale now. So that's what's on sale this week at my Kroger store. At Sprouts, which is another store that usually has good deals. Walmart is not a good grocery savings store. A lot of people say, oh, you know, I love Walmart. I'm sorry. Walmart actually and Target have actually very expensive food. It's when you buy it on sale that it really starts saving. So, like this week, Sprouts is another store that we have. They have roast for $2.99 a pound right there. So, if I didn't already have roast in the freezer, I would stock up and get 10 roasts and put them in the freezer, and those will last me the next 3 to 4 months when it goes on sale again. I don't need roast, so I'm gonna wait for now. But I just look at the ad, and if I'm out of something and I need something, then I stock up. So like butter is the next thing I'm gonna be watching for, because I'm almost out of butter. And when Easter comes up here in a couple of weeks is usually when it goes on sale, so I'll stock up on the butter.
Wow. So we have some good questions. And we have a special birthday today.
I saw that.
So we're going to have to note that. Actually, should we do it before it gets too late in Norway?
Yeah. So our
Turid.
really good friend Turid in Norway, so she can go to bed.
Is that the candle or no?
I don't know where it's at. I lost it.
Turid!
It's her birthday.
We want to catch you before you go to bed. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Turid. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And we have to pause the questions just for a moment to say we were in the UK and Ireland this summer, and Turid said, she lives in Norway. She said, Norway is only 2 hours from here. So we made a special trip up there, and she and her son and husband
showed us all around Norway.
Showed us all the amazing things in Norway. So,
I was just watching a video in Norway before we went on.
So we're super blessed, and Turid was one of the first people to ever watch the show. So
guys, what I do is I stock up on groceries, and I fill my pantry when food's on sale. Then I take the recipes from Dining on a Dime, Volume 1, and I...
Volume 1.
cook out of here what I have on hand. So if I have hamburger or ground beef, then I'll make meatballs or meatloaf or whatever. If I have chicken, then I'll make maple glazed chicken, honey glazed chicken, whatever. So.
Okay, so comments and questions.
All right.
Christine says, hi, you two. Love the cookbook and everything you do. Thank you,
Thanks.
Christine. Karen, Tara, you're looking especially lovely tonight.
Oh,
I
thanks.
totally agree. Mary, want to know if that's bread on the counter? It looks yummy.
Oh, so this right here, guys, is gluten-free, dairy-free, test number 23. And I think I'm about there. I need to do just a couple more tweaks, but I think I'm about there. And it tastes yummy. It tastes just like bread. Really good.
So Nancy in Windsor says, Tara, this is wonderful to have this list. A great help. Thank you for all your trouble. Much love to you.
Thanks.
Let's see. There were a bunch of questions a little further down. Just kind of going through. You already answered that one.
I don't know who it was, but somebody said this is their best cookbook in their whole collection.
Wow. I would agree with that.
I would agree with that,
We
too.
love it so much. We have, 1,200 of them left in the garage?
Yes, we have 1,200 of them left in the garage.
So if we have a problem with one, then we keep some extras on hand so we can go out and get a hold of another one. Ellen was surprised and said, only $5,000? Actually, I think that's pretty conservative, Ellen.
I was being very conservative. So
we think
because I didn't want people hollering at me, so.
But a lot of people would be able to save
Yeah.
more.
Rhonda, I know this cookbook has saved us dollars, and I was pretty frugal before. Woo!
Woohoo! Yay, Rhonda.
Becky, I am single, retired, minimal income, and still have a small 7 cubic foot freezer. I buy sell items to stock up. I am not going to the store. I made a game of seeing how long I can stay away from the grocery store. Yeah. I will do a video Wednesday on how to organize your freezer. Yeah.
And that's an answer from the set.
And Cindy says saves up money on gas too. Yeah, it does. Now, I'll be honest. Right now, I'm recipe testing, and we're going to the grocery store almost every day because we're recipe testing. But normally, I shop every 2 weeks for our regular stuff. And then I'll have Mike stop by the grocery store and pick up 1 or 2 things, only 1 or 2, if I need something for the show.
Well, and our grocery store is like a block, 2 blocks away from Jack's school, so it's pretty easy. We had a number of people asking about lamb and how do you prepare it.
I just roast it in the oven.
Tara, hey y'all, I started following you after I saw your Q&A video when you talked about your religion. Love it. Thank you, Tara. Okay, so there was some questions about upright freezer and chest freezer because some people were saying chests are more efficient.
Okay, chest freezers are more efficient, but I don't think that they save you more money, and here's why. Because they are a pain in my cute little patootie to organize. And for some people like me, when David was little, I was carrying him down the stairs, and I started to fall, and in order to keep him from hitting the stone floor, I twisted wrong to grab him, and I wrenched my back. So for people like me, it would hurt to lean over the chest freezer, and that's why I have an upright for me. Now, if you want a chest freezer, it does save more money per month. For me, it's worth the extra $10 a month to not have to do that. So.
Sorry. So back here, let's see.
How long does lunch meat stay good frozen in the original packaging? About 3 months. Do you vacuum seal your meat? Tammy wants to know. I do not because we use it fast enough. We rotate about every 3 months. Lindsay never thought of put a big jam in Ziploc bags. Yes. I make homemade jam when I get extra fruit, and I put it in Ziploc bags and I just stack it up flat.
And Becky was asking, does your meat ever get freezer burned if frozen in store packaging?
Well, no, because I use it so quick. If you're going to store it for more than 3 or 4 months, then I would. But I don't.
Would you just put it in a gallon freezer bag?
You could, or you can use like special freezer
paper
type stuff. Yeah.
Carol, how do you keep bread from getting ice crystals or freezer burned? You just throw them in there, right?
Yeah, I just throw it in there, but like I said, I use it in 3 months. Freezer burn is caused from being in the freezer too long. So if you've got something that's been in there for years, yeah, you're going to have freezer burn. So you don't want to. You want to keep using your food up. Don't buy so much food that you can't use it. I don't just go and buy food for the sake of buying food. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of a little torqued that I'm having to do recipe testing right now because I have so much food. I just want to get some of it used up. But then if we come down with that virus thing and we're quarantined, we're going to be set.
You'll be like, yay, I don't have to go anywhere. Sorry.
Heaven.
Yeah, Angie said she tried freezing breads. She says when I take it out to thaw, sometimes find the corners of the bread slices are very hard. Is that just from
leaving it in there too long. So for bread, those rolls have been in there since November, but normally my bread I only do like about a month or 6 weeks usually.
Joyce, do you use pork products? I didn't notice any.
Well, that's what I was explaining. No, Mike doesn't really like pork except for bacon, so I'll get a ham or pork chops occasionally. But that's only like about once a year. Like I got a ham in there now that I'll cut up for country skillet, but not that often.
Cherry, I use those big bags of veggies all the time. I encourage my family to eat veggies more than much else. Love the California blend. Cherry, I'm totally with you. I love the huge bags too. I like them because they're less, well, the ones I've seen seem to be a lot less expensive for like really nice broccoli and stuff like that. Actually, Paula had an interesting idea. Keep a paper cup with ice in it in the freezer. Put a quarter on top. If the quarter makes its way to the bottom, you know the power's been out a long time.
That's brilliant.
That is pretty brilliant.
I've never heard of that one before. That's great.
Karen wants to know what size is our freezer. Do we know how many?
I think that one, I can't remember. I don't know if it's a 15 or 20 cubic. I can't remember.
It's probably 5.5 feet tall.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to look on the label because I knew somebody was going to ask me that, and I can't remember. So
we have a side-by-side refrigerator freezer, and it's slightly shorter, maybe a little bit narrower, but we don't really.
Cherry, can you give me cooking times for meats you slow cook in the oven all day, like for chicken, butt roast, beef roast, etc.? Okay, so turkey and roasts, I will do 250 degrees for 8 to 15 hours. Just depends on how long you need it. I check it after 8 hours. If it's shreddable with a fork, it's done. And then if I'm not ready to eat, I will turn the oven down to 170 and just let it stay warm. If it's not done in time, let's say it's 3 o'clock and you eat at 5, crank your heat up to 350 and let it cook for an hour or an hour and a half, and then check it again. And then if you need to do more. Now for roasts, if it's like a really tall roast in the center but skinny on the ends or something, halfway through cooking, once it's defrosted, I just throw the whole thing in there frozen. Once it's defrosted, I will slice it in half and set it in the juices for it to finish cooking.
Cindy says Sprout said only 4 roasts per person. We'll sometimes go in.
Well, so here's the thing. If they only have a limit, then that's, where does it say that? Oh yeah. So if they have a limit, then I'll just go in and get those 4. But if I happen to go by the store again, or if Ellie happens to go by, then we'll go back in and get some more.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer says you guys are irreplaceable. Thanks.
Aww.
Elizabeth,
she loves us.
Yes. And we love Jennifer too. We've actually met her here. Elizabeth said, last week nothing was a good deal, but I had full freezers and pantries, so I just bought some cheap produce, bananas and such.
Yeah.
Now I have the money saved for the next good sale.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, that is exactly what Tara is talking about.
What I do.
And if everyone here does that, you will all be able to save a lot more money.
Like, I haven't bought meat. I've bought some chicken. I've bought, I think, 2 packages of chicken in the last 4 months. But I haven't bought any meat because for some reason during Thanksgiving and Christmas this last year, they had a whole bunch of stuff on sale and I just restocked my empty freezer. And so that's what's in there now.
Okay, so now I'm at that point of actually scrolling through.
Yeah, so somebody said they never thought about that small amount of money being lost if it's a power outage. That's it, guys. You got to keep it in perspective. I've got $200 worth of food in the freezer. Even if I lost that twice a year to power outages, I would still be saving way more, double than what I am losing. So, yeah.
Look, thank you, Paula. I give you 2 thumbs up, but they only allow 1.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned this or if she's just saying it, but high maintenance one says cooking the turkeys and breaking them down into little bags will open up a lot of freezer space.
And that's what I'm going to be doing actually this week and next week. I'm going to cook 2 this week and probably the rest next week. Because turkeys are kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest. But I love turkey. And I'm kind of sad that I can't eat turkey soup anymore. But I love turkey. And so that's what I do. If you didn't see my video earlier, I'll show you on Wednesday when I cook it. But I cook the turkey. I take little pieces of foil and I put the turkey with some gravy on top, fold the foil, freeze it. Then when it's time for dinner, I just take that packet and set it in my pan in the oven, and my dinner is ready in less than 5 minutes. So it's great.
Wow. So Brooke says 2 weeks ago, chicken was on sale at Walmart for 97 cents
Holy
a pound
cow.
all across Canada.
Man, I hope you have a freezer full.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
The White Picket Fence was saying we also keep the freezer full to keep cold longer. We take things out and get a gap. We freeze jugs of water and fill the hole.
Keep your freezer full, and it doesn't have to be full of food. Just put jugs of water in there and freeze them, because the more stuff in your freezer, the more efficient it is.
Well, and I don't know if you mentioned this, but last year we had something went wrong with the freezer, and did we get a new one? Mm-hmm. Something went wrong with it a couple times, and one time we went out there and it was partially defrosted. And one thing that you can do, if Tara didn't already mention this, is we almost never go without noticing it pretty quick. And so we ended up going over to some neighbors and saying, hey, can we throw some stuff in your freezer until we get our problem figured out?
And here's the thing, guys. When those things happen, don't panic. Use your brain. So what does that mean? That means think about what is the most expensive thing in there. Start saving the most expensive things, and then go down and leave the ones that aren't as expensive. So for me, if my freezer went out today and I had to save the food in there, I would save the lamb, I would save the roasts, I would save the lamb and the roasts, and the orange juice. Actually, that seems kind of crazy, but those are the 3 most expensive things in my freezer. So if my neighbor has room in her freezer, but that's all the room she has, I would save those. At 39 cents a pound, the turkeys are a great deal, but I didn't pay hardly, I paid like $5 for them. So start with, when you have a power outage or your door gets left open, or cook, if you can cook it, if you have a way to cook the most expensive things first, and then work your way down. Like, I wouldn't save the free cookies I got. You know, I would just take those out, put them in the pantry, and the kids can start eating on them. Freezer burn mean the meat is not good to eat? No, it does not mean the meat isn't going to be good to eat. It just means the meat tastes weird. So it just gives it a funny burnt taste.
If you're empty nesters, do you think you would still use the freezer? Probably.
Probably, although I probably wouldn't have one as big. My grandma has had one for her and my grandpa they've been empty nesters for 50 years. So, yeah, I mean, probably I would.
Dawn, I love watching your ideas. I love our freezer. I haven't been doing much of this type of stuff lately. Trying to get out sugar.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Jody asked if we have ideas for single person for meals. Partly
it's kind of the same thing. So I'm basically the only one who eats turkey in the family. I'll fix it for dinner, but you know, they don't really love it as much as I do. So what I do is when I make a turkey, like I said, I just put it in the foil packets and just take a piece of foil, lay it down, put my turkey and my gravy in there, fold it up, and I put 6 or 8 of those in a 9x13 pan, freeze it, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag. Do the same with a roast. Cook a roast and then freeze it up. But here's the thing. Cook a roast on Monday, and you can have the roast with potatoes and carrots. Then on Tuesday, make yourself some beef stroganoff. On Wednesday, make some beef and noodles. On Thursday, make some beef stew. You can do it that way. Also, just don't buy as big of items. So if I was by myself and I really wanted turkey, I would get the smallest turkey I could find. Also, some butchers will cut turkeys in half for you. So it's like they're a medium to big chicken. So you can cut those in half and they'll wrap them. Some will, some won't. You just have to ask if they'll cut a turkey in half.
So I don't know if you've done this before, but Ellie said I just cracked 2 eggs into each small Ziploc bag and froze. Scramble up nicely for baking.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, Wanda, I cook ribs low all the time. I don't cook any meat except ground beef that is not cooked on low heat and slowly in the oven. I use my crock pot maybe 6 or 7 times a year. I use my oven, or I'll use the Dutch oven on the top of the stove.
So Brooke wants to know, is it safe to refreeze meat that was frozen to begin with?
Yes, although it's best if you cook it first and then refreeze it, yeah.
And somebody had asked...
And that's another thing. Let's say, sorry to interrupt, that's another thing. Let's say you have a turkey in there and you don't want it to go bad. You can cook it up and then just throw it back in the freezer, and then you'll give yourself another 3 or 4 months.
Carol says, I drench freezer burnt meat in fish in Italian or French dressing, and it takes away the off taste.
You can.
You could do that if you want.
Yeah.
So there were a couple of things. Wanda wanted to know if raw meat or cooked meat lasts longer in the freezer.
I think it's about the same.
We usually freeze it, and if it seems like it's been frozen for too long, don't we then cook it? And then sometimes we still freeze it again.
Lizette, I'm inspired to go organize my freezer too. Here's the thing. I love my children and my husband. Don't get me wrong.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Just kidding. But it drives me crazy when they just start shoving stuff in the freezer. They don't take it out of the Walmart sacks.
What's that?
Or the grocery sacks, and they just shove it in there. Then I can't see what it is. Usually, I try to keep the freezer mostly organized. I've had a rough couple of months. I've had, I think, food poisoning for the last week now. Or something. I don't know. I've had something or another going on with me. And so I haven't been feeling good, so I've gotten behind on doing some of that stuff, and I'm trying to get caught up now, so.
Kaloni, we wish we had a fireplace, but we don't, unfortunately.
I wish I had a fireplace, yeah.
That's a big priority.
You do have that little thingy.
If we move again, that would be a big priority for us.
You do have the little red heater, though. The little fake
Do I
fire.
think we should stock up because of the virus? Well, here's the thing. I think you should stock up no matter what.
Just to be prepared.
Just to be prepared. Whether it's a virus, whether it's floods, whether it's blizzards, whether it's hurricanes, whatever.
Could just be another
You
day.
should have at least 3 months worth of food in your home all the time for an emergency. The same as with bleach and with rubbing alcohol, medicines, those kinds of things. I always try to keep 3 to 4 months. We actually have more than that, but I try to never go below 3 to 4 months. And I always try to keep 3 to 4 gallons of bleach on hand in my emergency stash for anything. Like when we had the floods here, they thought our water was going to be compromised. And they were warning everyone, fill up everything you can with water right now because we think we're going to lose our water supply. So I was filling every single crock pot, bucket, cup, everything I could fill with water, the bathtub, everything I could fill with water. And then if you needed water, you can put a little bleach in there. So I say, yeah, you should, but only because you should be prepared no matter what. So
yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, the thing about so on the coronavirus, I would just say, I would be careful not to overthink that, because it's true it could get to be a lot worse, but even what they're predicting, it's mostly serious if you're really, really, really old, or if you're really immune system compromised or really, really young. And I think sometimes the media oversells how serious that is.
Because we heard the same thing with Ebola and SARS and H1N1, and I know there are people who have had that, and I get that. But when you look at the actual numbers of people who get sick versus the populations, it's really low. So.
And the probability of dying is a lot higher if you get in a car. So.
Yeah, but people get in the car and go drive every day, and they don't think a second thing about it. But your chances of getting killed in a car accident are like 1,000 times higher. So
you should still, wash your hands and do all that same stuff you do for any other sickness. Jeannie asked, do you date the things you put in the freezer or pantry?
No, because
we don't leave it in there long enough.
I don't really leave it in there that long.
But if you...
But like the meats already have a date on there. So like if it says I bought it February 25th, 2019... well, then I'll know, oops, I missed one in the freezer. But there's nothing in there like that. But I mean, I just look at the date on the tag.
I think that's it here. Let's go look over here and see if there's anything else. Let's see, I don't think... Oh, would you do a show on how to make an emergency stash? Did you already do that?
No, I didn't. Because there's a lot of preppers and stuff out there. Guys, here's the basics on that. Make sure you have bleach. Make sure you have rubbing alcohol. Make sure you have first aid supplies like antidiarrheal, Imodium, medications for pain, medications for those kinds of things. And then have basic foods like a bunch of rice. Rice is really easy to store and will store a long time without going rancid. White rice. And then have some canned goods like peaches, pear, canned chicken, canned tuna, all those kinds of things. Just every time you go to the store, pick up 5 or 6 things to add to your stash. $5 or $6 every time you go to the store isn't much. And then in a few months, you'll have a nice little stash of...
Well, and if it's for... we always keep a stockpile for weather emergencies because we've been in ice storms and we've been in places with tornadoes and all kinds of things. And one thing that is often recommended that people don't think about is a whistle.
Yeah.
Because if you get stuck somewhere, you get...
Like if you're in a tornado and you're buried in your house.
In your basement, then you can let people know when they come to rescue you.
And a permanent marker so that if you have kids... You can write your name, phone number, and address, and the name of a relative and phone number of a relative outside of your area on their arm if you have to evacuate or something. So then if they get lost, they have that information right there. Why don't I eat turkey soup anymore? So several years ago, I was put on called the GAPS diet by my doctor. It's where you drink a lot of broth and that kind of thing. And I was drinking it, and I was like, this is not making me feel any better. And they said, oh, no, you're just detoxing. That's their excuse for everything. You're detoxing. I was like, I'm not detoxing for a year and a half. But anyway, come to find out, I just realized this actually 2 weeks ago, that I think I've had a lot of weird food issues that I've never been able to figure out. And one of those was... every time I eat broth, bone broth, I get really sick. I mean, I get put in bed sick. But I love it, so I kept eating it and just thought, oh, maybe I'm just not feeling good. Everybody says how wonderful bone broth is for you. Well, come to find out, I think I have a glutamate problem. You can look it up if you want. But anyway, bone broth has really high glutamates in it, and I think that's why it was making me sick. I can't eat anything fermented. They had me on sauerkraut and all this stuff. I can't eat anything fermented. I can't drink alcohol. It makes me horribly sick. I can't eat a lot of pickles. I can't eat nitrates, stuff like that. And that's all high glutamates. So that's why I'm cutting those out now to see if I feel better. Okay, yes, Jennifer. The zombie apocalypse will happen and you will be at our house.
We seriously, somebody asked what are we prepping for? We're not really prepping for much. I mean, we keep a supply for weather, mostly natural disasters, but basically anything that might make you stuck in your house for a month or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's just common sense that you should be prepared if you have like when we had when we had our floods back in 2013, our town specifically, our town does not have a grocery store. And our town was cut off by rivers that were flooding, so we couldn't get to a town if we needed to. So that's partly why. Yeah, toilet paper is always good to have on hand. Save your phone books. I save all the phone books for toilet paper if we need to.
Yeah, for us it was floods. We've had ice storms. We've been in a place with tornadoes. Yeah. We thankfully weren't hit. But just some people have hurricanes or whatever. It's any number of things that can.
Yep.
But twice we've had floods in different locations in the country where our town was completely cut off from the rest of civilization for weeks.
Yeah.
And so it's
in Idaho, it was almost, was it 6 weeks?
I think it was like 6
weeks. We had just moved there. And the second week we were there, all the roads got cut off by mudslides and floods. So,
well,
yeah. All right, guys, please give us a big thumbs up. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please go check out our Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 1 because we are working on Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 2. Right now, we have 2 people proofreading for us, and as soon as they get the corrections back, we are going to start getting that done.
See, Jerry thinks like your mom. She says, chocolate, don't forget the chocolate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Susan says manual can opener.
Yeah.
That's one thing people get a lot of canned goods and they don't think about opening them.
Yeah.
So.
And you can check out everything at livingonadime.com. We will be back Wednesday. And I think Wednesday's show, if I'm feeling up to it, I am going to do cooking from our pantry for a week and show you what we will eat for a week from our pantry and our freezer.
So you're going to figure out how to put all those odd things together.
Yes.
All right.
But they're not odd things because I just refill my pantry, so I'm always prepared.
What do you do with, what is that, the Indian spice?
Curry?
Yeah. Let's see, we have curry and cinnamon and...
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah, anyway. Well, good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Turt, if you're still on, happy birthday again.
Happy birthday.
And we'll look forward to seeing all of you Wednesday.
I hope it's fun for you.
Yes.
Because it's already tomorrow there.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
So she can celebrate it for 36 hours with us.
Yes.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.